So recently I unlocked the 6 builder for the 3rd time on another account. We also discovered that Clash of Clans plans to revamp the Builder Village game mode in 2023, which led me to think, will they change how we get the 6 builder, and should you try really hard to unlock it now? What's going on, my friends? My name is Joe, welcome back to the show, and currently at Builders Hall level 9 you unlock a building called the Auto Hut at level 1. Inside there are 4 tasks for you to complete to get it to level 5. Once Auto is unlocked, you will be given the Master's Builder Hut on the home village. Then back on the night village, you go back to the Auto Hut to click the button labeled Travel, which sends the Master Builder to your home village, essentially becoming your 6th home village builder. Now today's guide is a collection of 2 years worth of experiences intended for the free-to-play player on how to rush your builder village to level 9 and why, what buildings should you prioritize during the rush, tips to complete the Auto Hut tasks faster, the offensive strategy through the process, and the best way to get resources in 2022. Now, when we take a look at our home villages, a lot of players out there will discourage you from rushing your base because it has a little bit of adverse effects for the clan in Clan War, and then it also tends to burn players out a little bit faster depending on how you play. So a lot of times, a lot of players out there like to go each town hall level at a time, maxing out every single building on their base before moving on to the next town hall level. On the Builders Hall side, I will highly recommend that you rush to Builders Hall 9 no matter where you are in the game right now. You need to stop everything that you're doing and start rushing to Builders Hall immediately or Builders Hall 9 immediately, because once I got to Builders Hall 9, it took me 3 months to finish this. So in the past, when I have referenced rushing to Builders Hall 9, a lot of players out there tend to get very upset about this because they believe that you should be playing every single village traditionally, meaning that you upgrade every single building, move on to the next level. Now, this might seem like a really good idea, but you need to understand that this takes a really long time to achieve the highest level on the Builders Hall side just to unlock the Auto Hut in the first place. So the true reason why you want to rush your builder's base is to unlock the army camps, meaning that you get a larger army. Larger army equals more resources, which turns into more trophies, which turns into being able to upgrade your villages a lot faster. So I went ahead and built you this little visual representation of the buildings that matter when it comes to the Builders Hall rush. Every single time that you upgrade to a new Builders Hall level, build all the new buildings that are associated with that level. If they are not listed right here in this little group right here, place them off to the side. If you try to upgrade them, all you're doing is delaying the time process and pushing everything to the right in the timeline. So then you're going to finish building those new items, and then these buildings over here on the left side are the ones that you worry about upgrading to max for that respective Builders Hall level. So we have the elixir collectors, the gold mines. This increases your passive income like I mentioned a moment ago. If you get to a new level, you need to make sure that you max out your gold storages and your elixir storages minus Builders Hall 9, which I'll explain here in a second when we talk about the Mega Tesla. So if you increase the level on these, every time that you get yourself a new rune of elixir or rune of gold from, let's say, the clan games, then you get the maximum capacity and the most out of those runes. That way you're not wasting your runes on really low storage capacities. And then also you need to make sure that you max out your star laboratory. That way you can focus solely on the cannon cart. The cannon cart is the only one that matters once you get that thing to level 10. Then you can use it all the time. We'll talk about armies in a minute. And then also with this, you need to make sure that you upgrade your clock tower, because the boost from the clock tower helps speed up upgrades on your base, and it also helps generate loot in those passive sources. Next, let's go ahead and jump into the Auto Hut, and I want to give you some tips about these individual tasks. Now, the first task is the gear up option. This is the first one that you should complete, but you cannot complete it until you are a Town Hall 10 because of the multi-mortar. And so when we look at the 3 buildings that we have to gear up, we have that double cannon. This can be completed as a Town Hall 7 by gearing up or upgrading your double cannon to level 4, and then you can gear up your level 7 cannon on the Town Hall side. The same thing applies to your archer tower. You have to have a level 6 archer tower on the Builder's Hall side, but a Town Hall 8 and a level 10 archer tower on that side to gear up. And then moving into the multi-mortar, you have to have it to level 8 in order to do the gear up option on a Town Hall 10 and a level 8 mortar over there. But here's the downside about all three of these buildings. Each time you do the gear up option on the home village, the master builder leaves the Builder's Hall side and goes over there for an extended period of time. This could be bad if you're trying to work on, let's say, your Mega Tesla or something of that nature. So when it came to the multi-mortar, we discovered that it took 14 days in order to do the gear up option. So my tip for you is that if you can get your hands on a book of building, make sure that you use a book of building on that gear up option. That way you can get it done and you do not have your master builder over there for 2 weeks long. That's way too long to have him off of the Builder's Hall side. The next challenge that you're going to have to complete in the auto hut is maxing out the cannon cart to level 18. So of course you're going to need to upgrade your barracks to level 7 in order to unlock the cannon cart. Now, once you've completed these items, you should complete your gear up option as well as the cannon carts around the same time. So that means that you can shift your attention into these next two buildings. So all gold will go into the Mega Tesla and all elixir will go into the battle machine. Now, naturally, you only have one master builder, so you're going to have to do one at a time. So you do the battle machine and then you jump over and dump your gold into the Mega Tesla. Now, here's the trick when it came to the Mega Tesla that I wanted to talk about a moment ago when it came to the storages. These two storages, these two gold storages, you're going to notice are both level 8. There was a trick that I used and some players disagreed with it and some players were all for it, is that if you have to upgrade these, they cost elixir. You're going to notice that they cost 2.5 million elixir. That's elixir taken away from your battle machine and more time taken away from upgrading the Mega Tesla and the battle machine and dumping it into these two resource collectors. Instead, once you get your Mega Tesla to level 8, if you can obtain a hammer of building, you could swing a hammer without upgrading those two buildings and max out your Mega Tesla to level 9 and you will be done with it. And then from then on out, every ounce of elixir goes towards the battle machine. So as most of you know, the resource collection on the Builder's Hall side is very challenging. You only get 3 attacks, and you got to make sure that you're saving those resources for the correct upgrades. So if you're using your elixir inefficiently, you might be wasting it on the wrong troops. So let's go all the way back to the beginning at Builder's Hall level 1, and you start out with 1 army camp, and you start out with the Rage Barbarian. That is our first army. You're going to upgrade that troop, that specific troop, all the way to Builder's Hall 5. So it's going to look something like this. You're going to move on to Builder's Hall level 2, 3, and level 4. At each of those levels, you're going to unlock an army camp. This is going to open up 4 different army camps, and you're also going to upgrade your Star Laboratory at each level of Builder's Hall level, as well as the barracks. Inside the Star Laboratory, you're going to upgrade only the Rage Barbarian. This grants you the ability to increase the size of your Rage Barbarian army, and by the time you get to Builder's Hall 4, you should be able to bring 40 Rage Barbarians into battle. Now, when you get to Builder's Hall level 5, this is where things get a little bit more interesting because you can unlock the battle machine. But before you do that, upgrade your Star Laboratory and upgrade your Rage Barbarians to level 10. That way you can bring 60 Rage Barbarians into battle. This is where you're going to use those 60 Rage Barbarians in battle to claim the resources to unlock the battle machine, and you can also upgrade your barracks to level 7. That way you can unlock the cannon cart. Now, most of you guys probably already know that the cannon cart and the battle machine are kind of useless until you start upgrading them. So you're going to keep using that Rage Barbarian army to get your battle machine to level 5, and you're also going to try to upgrade your cannon carts. You need to get them to at least level 10 before you start using them, and you also need to probably upgrade some levels on your Boxer Giant, because that's going to transition us into our next army, which is the Boxer Giants and the Cannon Cart. Now, my recommendation for you guys is that you get beyond Builders Hall 6 as quickly as possible, because you're still working with only 4 army camps and it gets very challenging to get wins. So when you rush to Builders Hall 7, you unlock the 5th army camp, and if you've been upgrading your Cannon Cart from here on out, you should be able to get it to level 14 at this point, and winning will become very easy for you if you use this army right here. We got 2 army camps that have giants and 3 army camps that have Cannon Carts. Now, at the same time, you might want to consider upgrading your battle machine, but it's not a priority at this point. We need to keep upgrading our Cannon Cart, that way our army keeps getting stronger and stronger, and you need to move on and rush to Builders Hall 8 to unlock the 6th army camp, and this would be the army that you use once you gain your 6th camp. 2 army camps would be Boxer Giants, and 4 army camps would be the Cannon Carts. Now, at Builders Hall 9, this is where things get very interesting, because your main purpose is to max out your Cannon Carts. So you're going to need to upgrade those storages again to level 9, and you're going to need to upgrade the Cannon Carts twice to level 18. Once you get those Cannon Carts to level 18, you're going to be tempted to upgrade other troops, but realistically, you need to shift all of your elixir over into the battle machine from here on out until it gets all the way to level 30. So the third army that we're going to use is the one that we need to use while we're upgrading our battle machine. We're going to use 3 army camps of the Boxer Giant and 3 army camps of the Cannon Carts. This produces more tanks for your Cannon Carts to take down more buildings and basically replace the fact that the battle machine is no longer on the battlefield. We need to make sure that we keep this repetition up. So it's going to go something like this. When you have your battle machine, you're going to use the army that has 2 army camps of Boxer Giants and 3 army camps of Cannon Carts. When you're upgrading it, you're going to shift back into that army of 3 army camps Boxer Giants and 3 army camps of Cannon Carts. And you're going to keep repeating this until you max out your battle machine. Now, one major thing that I need to point out to you and warn you about is that throughout this process, you're going to be tempted multiple times to use power potions to make your army stronger. That way you get more wins. Because I've done it myself multiple times. In 2022, Clash of Clans added the Clan Capital game mode, where clans can build a village together and fight together each weekend to earn raid medals. All of this information can be found in a separate guide linked down in the description. So now, instead of just doing those 3 resource attacks and waiting for the next set to become available, I recommend that you use your raid medals to buy Builder Village resources. Yes, I totally said it. Oh yeah, boy. And that is how I unlock the 6th builder for the 3rd time, even faster than the first 2 times. And if you're getting bored, not going fast enough for you, buy the gold pass for the perks.